Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, catch us on Anchor FM and quite a few platforms as well that's coming up. And once again, subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on YouTube and take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. We're back once again with a brand new single and a brand new album. He's been with us before. He's from Brownsville Station. He's also had some successful releases out there, including Sonic Tunesmith, Psychedelic Rodeo, and everything else. And he's told us all about his history from beautiful Detroit, Michigan, how he got involved with Brownsville Station, if you want to catch all that with some of the previous interviews. But tonight, we're here to talk about a brand new release featuring a brand new single, one of his inspirations. Ladies and gentlemen, live from beautiful Michigan, once again, Billy Craig. Billy, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you, Mike Wagner. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Just wonderful here. So you have a new release called Beyond the Pale, which is featuring the new hit Frampton, and it's out right now. And of course, we'll talk a little about that. And of course, just a little thing here. What was the inspiration of Beyond the Pale, and what would inspire you to write about Frampton?
Well, Beyond the Pale is this is I believe my fifth album, and I've been a guitar player my whole life, and it all really started with guitar, and I've always wanted to do a completely instrumental, rocked out album, and it's just something that was kind of in my on my bucket list. So I finally got it together and had all these different ideas, and just decided to take it all into the studio and see what I could come up with. And I'm really, really happy with it.
Mm-hmm. That sounds amazing too. Let's talk about your new hit Frampton, and what was the inspiration behind Frampton as well? You can talk about what's behind Pure Frampton, or how did this come about?
Well, you know what? There's a lot of different inspirations. All of it evolves from Peter Frampton. But when I was, I don't know, when I was first starting to play guitar, I think I was 12, 13, and I bought Peter Frampton, the album right before Frampton Comes Alive. It's called Frampton. It's the studio version of the album that has Show Me the Way and Baby I Love Your Way on it. But the entire album's just riveting. It's incredibly good. And it was one of those things. And I saw him in concert, somewhere in between that and the live album, because I remember when the live album came out. But I was just a kid, and he just kind of turned into my first guitar hero. And it was this whole album is all about circling back and all those influences, all those guitar players that inspired me. It was time to kind of pay tribute to them, and so I just started with this certain song, and it was just a chord progression that I was playing around with, and this melody kind of just jumped out at me. And then the other thing was with Peter Frampton, he's got a muscle disease that he's on his final tour, his last tour this year, and who knows? I'm hopeful that that they'll come up with the cure, and he'll end up doing the like Kiss did, the 10-year farewell tour.
just like everybody else. I mean, who is it like? the Who or Genesis, or it's like,
Right.
the Cure. It's like, I mean, all these farewell tours, it's like, how many farewells can you really have? That's the question.
Yeah, well, as long as people keep paying for tickets, that's how many you can have, So that kind of weighed on my mind as well, and something about the song just kind of spoke to me, and that's the way Frampton was. Just a really incredibly melodic player, and I decided to name that song Frampton.
hmm And I was going to ask you as well, too, and we may have the answer. Have you personally met Pierre Frampton, or has he reached out to you, or do you plan on reaching out to him in the future with that song?
You know what? We have reached out to Peter. I've had some interaction with him on Twitter, but that's it. I figured maybe I don't know if he's heard the song or not. I suspect he has because he knows it's out there. And we've gone back and forth on. He's liked some of the stuff that included that on Twitter, so I'm thinking he knows about it. So I hope he's heard it, and I hope he thinks it's a good thing.
and of course, too, you've presented that song Frampton, or the Peter Frampton. Has he had a chance to listen to any of your music, and if so, what are his thoughts on it?
Has he what again?
Has he listened to any of your music? Besides Frampton, since you guys are going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, in a sense.
Well, you know what? We've been in contact really through social media. I can't say for sure, but I highly suspect he has.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we just want to double check on that. I'm sure we're getting some questions too, and of course, there's also another thing about the.
At least I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, I think that's another one as well too. So we'll talk a little more about the album as well too. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Go ahead and play and warm up. Visit us online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking a budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can also check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. Also, download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and coming soon to Anchor FM. You can also subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. We're here with guitarist Billy Craig from Brownsville Station with a brand new release, Beyond the Pale, which is totally instrumental. And we talked about his new hit, Frampton, and there was something I was going to ask as well, too, before we got off track here. How are the sales doing when it comes to Frampton? How many hits?
Oh, it's it's going very well on Spotify and iTunes for Frampton's song. But the album, we're still rolling it out. We're still pushing it out there. It's still pretty darn fresh. So. Especially with radio and through our marketing efforts, but it's doing quite well.
That's good. Okay, it sounds like you got a number of hits too. We'll talk about a few as well too. Maybe, and I see you got your guitar going. You could probably just play a few for us as well too, including a bit of Frampton.
Hold on, let me do it. All right, here. Hey, there's a little Frampton for you.
There you go. There you go. And I'm sure he'll want to do Smoking in the Boys Room next thing you know it, too. So.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's easier.
Oh, there you go. And of course, you got to have a little the box in there too that Frampton made famous. Yeah, feel
Yeah,
like
no, I don't
my
have one of those. I do want to get one, a voice box. Yeah, those are great. Those are
oh
cool.
my gosh, it was just like, I tried playing a guitar myself, but having a voice box, but it was just like in my mind, it's like, how do I put those two together? It's like I could, at the time, I couldn't figure it out. It was like I was too naive, but nowadays it's like, if I got some free time, I'll probably do that too, but I have to get permission from my family to do so. So,
You could probably find a YouTube or somewhere on the line that'll tell you how you could build a voice box.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not it's a genius in its own way, but it's actually pretty fundamental how it's put together. It's just it's a horn, it's a speaker horn that they cut off to, how a speaker horn, it comes to very thin, and they cut that off, put the tube on it, and the guitar goes through it. With the tube comes up, it goes into your mouth, and you just mouth the sounds from the guitar. It's pretty cool.
That is amazing. I have to mention that to my daughter too. In fact, she came to get some guitars as well too. We're gonna have her play something, but she had to go do a show. So also, besides Frampton, you also got some cuts from beyond the pale, like Skyrocket, Midwest to Dubai, Elysian Fields, and I like the one called Gutenberg's Printing Press. So I got to listen to some of that. Maybe you can just tell us about Gutenberg's Printing Press and what's the story behind that one? It sounds pretty amusing.
Well, it's funny because that song actually, I was just messing around. That one was the last one that might have been before the or after the Frampton song came together. But that particular song, I had started that when I was working on Sonic Tunesmith.
Mm-hmm.
And on Psychedelic Rodeo was the first. There's a song, the very last song on Psychedelic Rodeo is a guitar instrumental, and so I wanted to do the same thing with Sonic Tunesmith, and so I came up with these ideas, and I just ended up not using it. And one day I was opened up the session, and I'm going, wow, that's kind of cool. So I ended up changing it around and adding a bunch of stuff and produced it. And I liked it so much, I ended up putting it on Beyond the Pale.
That is amazing too. And of course, you also got Deep Blue Adagio, Mystic Traveler, and Reach Another World. And maybe you can just tell us about some of those and what are the inspirations behind them.
Well, when I started out the album, one of the things I didn't want to do was sound like every other guy that's out there trying to do the same thing, like a Joe Satriani and those guys. They already did all of that. So what I wanted to do was, I was inspired by the same guys that they were, Ronnie Montrose, Randy Bachman, Joe Walsh, Peter Frampton, Billy Gibbons, all those 70s rock and roll guitar players that I just was greatly amused by and influenced by. And what I wanted to do with this album is be really melodic. I didn't want to overplay and I didn't want to underplay. I just wanted to be somewhere in the middle there and make it really, really listenable and have those melodies, like I don't know if you ever listened to David Sanborn. He's a sax player.
Yes, I have. Very familiar.
Yeah. Have those David Sanborn, I know it's not the same kind of music, but that kind of a melody that just really great, simplistic, yet good and singable melodies. And that's what I was after. And for the most part, I think I hit it on the nail. I was pretty happy. Once I got done with it, it was like, okay, I think if it was a discussion, it was over, you know.
Of course, we don't want to sound new age as well, too. Sometimes David Sanborn can be classified as new age, jazz, and everything else. But I got to listen to clips from your album, and very simplistic, and just just laid out very nice. I mean, I have to say that too. And Frampton was impressive, and hopefully you can get more singles out there besides Frampton and everything else. So we'll talk more about that, and also with compare some of your albums. And we got coming up next, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@SonicWebStudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also, check our Facebook page, Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel at The Mike Wagner Show. Also, download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And coming soon to Anchor FM and other platforms. And take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. We're here at guitarist Billy Craig from Brownsville Station with a brand new release, Beyond the Pale. We are talking about Peter Frampton, also entitled the first, his release Frampton as well, too, and talked about some other songs from Beyond the Pale. And comparing Beyond the Pale, what you did, how's that compared to Sonic Tunesmith, as well as Psychedelic Rodeo and Epic Tale, Next Exit Paradise, and This Side of Somewhere? How would that compare?
Well, I think that Beyond the Pale is definitely an extension from an Epic Tale, and it's definitely a shoot off from the first four albums. I did a lot of trop rock and country, and but this one's total. When you listen to it, I mean, there's no doubt it's rock music, with a melody, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a departure definitely from what I was doing, and that's kind of where I was at. I wanted to just go in a complete new direction, not be handcuffed in any way. I just wanted to like a true artist, just be an artist and paint musical pictures.
Mm-hmm. That is amazing too, and maybe you can just play a track or two where I heard a little bit of Frampton from the Beyond the Pale, and maybe you can just pick one or two. You can just play a little bit for us.
Well, what I was going to do is I don't have any song. I don't have my electric guitar. I got a couple acoustic songs that I was going to play for you, if that's okay.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. I was going to do one off of my very first album, and then I had this other song that I'm messing around with that I want to see how you like it.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay. All right, I'm going to start with this song here. Wanna get to the other side. The grass is greener, I can see from where I stand, with a big old sunset and a smile on every face. Laughing and dancing, I'm ready to embrace the good side of life. Good side of life. Picture perfect dance in every frame. Just like the TV show, everybody knows your name. And the food tastes better, I can share with every bite. The road is bigger, everything is so right. On the good side of life. Good side of life. Good child, good child, good child, good child of life. The good child, good child, good child, good child of life. Good child, good child, good child, good child of life. I may never find the place that I desire. It may just be that what I have acquired is all I have and all I'll be. It's all there right in front of me. All the things that I hold dear. Maybe in fact I'm already here. Good side of life. Good side of good side, good side, good side of life. Good side, good side, good side, good side of life. Good side, good side, good side, good side of life. Yeah, 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 yeah. Good side, good side, good side, good side of life.
Cheers. I love it. When you uttered the lyric where everybody knows your name, made me think of the TV show Cheers. That's why I said cheers. Love it.
Yep, that's what it's from, actually. That song is from This Side of Somewhere. That's my very first album.
Okay, great.
And that one's kind of more. That album's more rough hewn. I mean, it was more singer songwriter, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun. Chipping away at that one. But and then it just kind of everything kind of evolved. That album kind of led into actually the song on that album. It's called Flip Flops. That song actually got played all over the country and overseas. It was the first song that Flip Flops that I got royalties from radio. Radio.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
I was happy about that.
Just don't tell Jimmy Buffett. He might take that into Cheeseburgers in Paradise. So I'm sure it's a well-kept secret from him.
Well, the funny thing is we actually sent that song to be considered by Kenny Chesney, and it went into. I ended up just releasing it myself. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Some things do work out for the better. I'll tell you that. So it's all yours, and you just made it happen. I know of a lot of stories where they say, play this, plays it. No. They do it themselves and become number ones or big sellers. So it's a good thing you had your own flip flops, which is good. So,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you want me to play another one?
absolutely. And I think you had another one in mind anyway. So, let's go ahead.
You know what? I'm going to do this song. I'm thinking about taking this song into the studio, and I want to get your opinion on it. It's a song by Jackson Browne.
Okay.
It's off his I think the album's called Every Man. It's either Every Man or Everyday Man. It's a great album. But it goes like this. Well, I've been out walking. I don't do that much talking these days. These days I seem to think a lot about the things that I forgot to do for you. And all the times I had a chance to. And I had a lover. It's so hard to risk another these days. These days. Now if I seem to be afraid to live a life that I have made in song, well, it feels that I've been losing so long. When I think about it, goes on for days. Yeah, when I think about it, there's too many ways. When I think about it, nothing wrong. When I think about it, comes out in a song. These days, these days, well, I'll keep on moving. Things are bound to be improving these days. One of these days. These days I sit on cornerstones, count the time and water tones to change, my friend. Don't confront me with my failures. I had not forgotten them.
was very impressive. Now you say that was Jackson Browne that did that?
Yeah.
That was.
Yep. Yeah, Jackson, huh?
Because you know something, when you heard about, when I heard the lyric of "Don't confront me with the failures, I've been through them," it made me think of a Glenn Campbell song called "These Days Too," which I bought the greatest hits. You know, this is like maybe a year before, a year after he passed away, and I listened to the greatest hits, and I thought, this sounds very familiar, and I think you do a really nice version of it too. Now you say that's going to be on the next studio album you'll be producing?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to take that one into the studio. I just love the song, and I think it's worth it. I think that he actually wrote that, of all things. He wrote that when he was 16.
Wow.
Yeah, and that particular song, Greg Allman covered that. I don't know if it was Greg Allman or the Allman Brothers, but and that's when Jackson Browne decided he wanted to redo it because he liked Greg Allman's version.
Oh my gosh, that's something. So it's kind of like, you know, something that's been written but passed on several times over and over and over. And you talked about having it in your next studio album. Now, is that going to be almost the same like Beyond the Pale, or are you going to return to what's been done with Psychedelic Rodeo or Sonic Tunesmith? Will this be something that's, again, totally separate from all the releases you've done with your next studio album?
I know I've been going all over the place, but no, I do want to do another album like Beyond the Pale. I know that I want to do that, but then I kind of want to get back into the singer-songwriter thing because that's close to my heart. That's what I really do enjoy doing it. It's you know, I've always had this kind of duality as an artist because I like to play guitar. So, but I also love to write songs and sing songs. So I've always kind of been, you know, one or the other. And, you know, Sonic Tunesmith, I kind of was able, well, actually all my albums have been able to do both. But Beyond the Pale is just one of those albums that I was just able to really kind of stretch out and just let it just cut loose for my guitar.
That is amazing. And of course, we're all looking forward to when it gets out there. And of course, with that song These Days, you had just play for us as a preview to your next studio album. And you're just going to get in. And since you say you're going to be start recording it pretty shortly, when do we next expect the next release to be coming out? What's the time frame?
Oh boy. You know what? It really depends because like when you get done with the whole album, it's like you have to you got to kind of get your head back into it because it's such a lot of it's just a ton of work, you know, to the whole creative process. I don't think we're going to be able to or I'll be able to get started on it for quite some time, at least 6 months. You know, 6 to 8 months, because we're also promoting the heck out of this new one. So, you know, I want to make sure that we push that as far as we can go. And then we'll make some steps in that direction.
We're definitely looking forward to it as well, too. And of course, in the meantime, where can we find Beyond the Pale and also the single Frampton?
You can go, you can Google Billy Craig Beyond the Pale, and it's on all the digital sites. I'm playing with the idea of doing pressing up some vinyl with it toward the end of the year. I'm hoping that my digital sales do well enough that I can look at getting into some physical copies, possibly some CDs. But I definitely want to do some vinyl, you know.
That'd be great.
Do you have a turntable?
Yes, I do. I happen to have one that my family gave me 2 years ago, and I play the heck out of it. I pulled out my old 70s and 80s and you know, some 90s albums when I'm mobile DJ, and I looked through. It's like it has some Beatles, Paul McCartney and Wings, The Who, and Genesis, and you know, Led Zeppelin. Except my daughter took that on me, and I have that, but my ideal is just bringing back like a 1960s, 1970s type where you have that rich sound. And when I played that Glenn Campbell, Wichita Lineman, it made me think of my parents' stereo where it was just deep and rich with that mahogany wood. I would love to have something like that again, but something portable is fine by me. And of course, the microphone I'm talking to, my family gave me that last year for Christmas. So I'm trying to think, it's like, what's the next thing to top those two? But, I just enjoy what I have too. And, definitely vinyl looking forward to as well.
Yeah, I think you had told me about your new turntable. I think you told me about the microphone, your new microphone as
Right.
well.
Mm-hmm. But trying to put it together one day, that will be another day. That's all I could say. So, or let my kids figure it out. And of course, I'd like to have you on back again as well too. And just once again, what's the website and how do people contact you?
Well, you can go to billycraigmusic.us. But if you Google Billy Craig Music or Google Billy Craig Beyond the Pale, you'll see a bunch of stuff going on. It's on Spotify, iTunes. It's out there and available.
That is fantastic. And we're looking forward to having you again soon, Billy. And do us a favor, keep this up to date like you always do. You do a great job. Looking forward to having you on again soon. And all the best to you.
Mike Wagner, thank you so much. I totally appreciate your support and bringing me on your show.